Do you enjoy going to Moulin Rouge as much as we do? Better yet, do you like going to concerts and sporting events?
SeatGeek helps people easily purchase tickets to these kind of events and unites people like you and us through live entertainment.
And things just got easier for you. As proud partners of SeatGeek, you can use our exclusive promo code CANCAN10 and you'll get $10 off of any purchase that is $250 or over.
Hey Lily, you've been eyeing up that can seat for a while.
You're so right, Jules. I think I'm gonna go purchase it right now and use our code for a discount. Do you want to join?
Hell yeah!
Again, that's CANCAN10, CANCAN10, to get $10 off of any purchase that is $250 or over, only valid for one purchase.
Welcome back! Welcome to episode 9 of Can Talks. It's your girl, Jules, with my co-host Lily. How we feeling tonight, Lily?
I'm very sore. I just went to the gym and did a lot of squatting, and my thighs are burning.
Yeah, it's finals week for me, so I'm drowning in paperwork right now. So
I don't miss it. I don't miss it.
don't 10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend college kids, don't do it. Um, well, shall we get on to today's episode? Today's episode, we're starting a new series. Um, this is our deep dive. We're calling it a deep dive into characters. We're going to be doing a deep dive into characters. There's a lot we don't know about these characters, and we're going to be finding out and putting our theories to the test. And theories to the test, what are we, Mythbusters? We're going to be shouting out some theories and seeing, and if you guys have any theories, please let us know. But Lily, do you want to introduce who our first character is?
Yeah, so our first character is none other than Christian the composer. And we're just gonna talk about all our theories. Like, does he have a last name? What would his last name be? His backstory, possibly. We can also go through his songs and his plot line, personality traits, good and bad, his costumes and outfits. So, we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of Christian the composer today.
Christian the composer. So, let's start. We don't know a lot about Christian except for the fact that he's from Lima, Ohio, and he came to France to escape his suffocating life. That's all we know about him. So it's a little bit we also know he's a songwriter and he's a hopeless romantic. That's the only backstory we have of Christian right now. So, what do you think? What do you think Christian's last name is? Like the composer is
His middle name is
the
his last name is
composer.
composer.
What's your name? Christian the composer? No, what's your last name? Composer. So,
I'm crying. I'm actually tears.
okay, so per the script of Moulin Rouge, it says Christian enters. He's a handsome young American man with a special drive behind his easy and natural charm, a young man of agile talent, quick passion, and warm humor. All right, so we know he's young, and we can tell he's young. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
Um,
We can also
I,
tell by his personality and his actions that he's very young and naive in some ways.
I would say like early 20s. I
Yeah.
would say like at the most 25.
Yeah.
He's quite young. He wants to explore the world and for all places to go to, he goes to Montmartre.
You know,
1899 was a weird time back then. How
really
did they
weird
have?
time.
Okay, I'm about to ask a really stupid question, but did they have airplanes back in 1899? They
That
hadn't
is a
been
really
like
good question,
it
actually.
wasn't they hadn't been like fully like invented then. I mean like the Wright brothers and all that were doing their stuff, but I don't think they were fully. Oh no, they weren't because Titanic, 1912. Okay, so he must have taken a ship over.
Apparently, it was 1903.
Okay, we missed it by a few years. No one judge me.
But
So,
it's still earlier than
yeah.
airplanes.
So he must have taken a ship over. It must have been a long journey. Um, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna come to Montmartre. I'm just gonna start my new life. So we know he's a young guy. We know Christian, the composer, is a young guy who's also handsome, and well, that is true. Uh,
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
well, yes, we know that. Um,
it says,
Special
I looked it up on Google. I looked up Christian Moulin Rouge last name. Apparently, uh, people think his last name is James. I don't know where that came from. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the
Christian
movie.
James.
It's been a while since I've seen the movie. Do they ever acknowledge his last name in the movie too? I'm like actually confused about this.
No, I don't think they do. I don't remember them ever. That's a interesting fan theory. So Christian, possibly James. Christian James.
James.
Um, so he has a special drive behind him, easy and natural charm, which is true. I think he's very charming. You know, he wrote a whole song. He wrote multiple songs for Satine. Very charming person. I
Like,
would also
yeah,
love
I
that.
mean, like serenade me any time you
Exactly.
want.
Talent, yes, a lot of talent, and he has a lot of passion. That is true. He's very, very passionate about his craft and his art, and you can see that he is very, very
And
passionate. But
he's
that
passionate about Satine too.
very passionate
Very,
about
very
Shazam.
passionate.
Very passionate. Well, that is what the script says. Now, I did find a website called like you can do Wikipedia pages.
Yeah.
But it's a Moulin Rouge one, and I'm gonna pull it up right now, but um Lily, what do you think? So far, what other like things about Christian you want to know or think you know, fan theories?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think yes, like I definitely think he's young. I think well, this Wikipedia page that I have up says, against his father's wishes, he left home for Paris to become a writer between the age of 18 or at the age of 18, which I guess would make sense because like you finish school, then you don't really know what to do with your life, and so then you escape. Um, what happened in Lima? I have no idea. Times were definitely different back then. Maybe his
I think we're
father was a
reading the
little bit.
same page, by the way. I think we're
Yeah,
on the
it's
same
the one
page.
with Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, and it says that he was born in England, but in the script he says he's from Lima, Ohio. So,
Well, this is for the movie. I think he was born in
yes,
England in the
yes.
movie, but I think, well, you know, I'm from Ohio, but I'm from like, Cincinnati, so it's like, but Lima, I haven't really been to, and it is a very random place. It's kind of I guess it's a smallish town. I really only know it from Glee. So, um, it's like maybe the life there was just like farms and corn and like there was like nothing. Give us nothing, Lima, Ohio, you know. And Christian was just like, nah, I need to be inspired. I'm a songwriter. I want to be inspired. And so he went to Montmartre to get inspired to songwrite and to follow his dreams of being a songwriter.
And he wants to fall in love. You know, he says like he believes in love, and
I mean, I
I
don't know about
guess
the girls in Lima, Ohio
I
back
don't know
then,
about the
but
girls in Lima, Ohio in 1899, but clearly weren't good enough. Um, um, I love this showing like this is a good one. Yeah, so young writer. Um, okay, so we've established our fan theories for him, his last name, how old he is, where he's from, and all that kind of lovely little things. So, moving forth, Christian the composer. What do you what mm, I'm trying to think what to say. Um I think he is a I don't think he's ever been in love. that's why he wants it like so bad. So he's like, the way he talks about it, he's like, let me be your lover and all this because he's never done it. And he finds a teen and he's like, I love this girl. I mean, literally, like they meet and then
Yeah,
he's like,
exactly. And then
I
they
love you.
kiss.
And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because
How
I
I
don't
Met
know
Your
that
Mother, the first episode, it's like
basic.
Ted Mosby did.
I've never seen How I Met Your Mother,
So
sorry.
good. It's so good.
Um, but you know, the course of Moulin Rouge is like a few months. We know it's only in a course of a few months. It's like Romeo and Juliet, you know what I mean? It's only over a
Yeah.
course of a few months. So, he falls in love with her in the span of like pretty quickly, actually. Pretty
Yeah.
quickly he
It's
falls in love with
very,
her.
very
So I
quickly.
don't think he's ever been in love before, and I
They're still in
think,
their like honeymoon phase,
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much, because that first 3 months is that honeymoon phase.
I will have to say, I do have a bone to pick with him. He said that he is a singer-songwriter with a folk sound. Someone please tell me if Backstage Romance is a folk sounding song. No?
Toxic by Britney Spears.
Toxic by Britney Spears. Is it? Is it? Is
Seven
it?
Nation Army.
I was so, 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 so confused when they were like, when he's like, yeah, I'm a folk sound singer, and then Backstage Romance. Oh, wait a second. This is a bit awkward. Um, yeah, that's my bone I have to pick with Christian. I think Christian's a good guy. I think he's a good guy, and I think he has honorable intentions. Like I said, he's young, he's naive, he's never been in love. He, discovers this new place, and he just wants to be with Satine. I don't think he understands. I don't know about you, but have you ever noticed, like, in after the pitch song, and then they're telling them to leave because the Duke is going to come back? Um, I don't know, it's like, he seems like he kind of doesn't really understand. Like, wait, what do you mean? Like, sorry, my dog. What are you doing? What are you doing? Sorry. Interrupted by the dog. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just my opinion. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, you can really sense it when he's talking to Satine, and Satine is like, and I know I definitely said something about this when we were talking about like Christian versus the Duke, but it's like Satine's like, look, you haven't lived my life. I need to get out of this place. I can't keep dancing and singing and performing forever. And if the Duke is my only way out, then that's what it is. And I don't think Christian can really like comprehend that because it's true. He hasn't lived Satine's life. And um it's just, yeah, I think in that way he is a little bit, he's a little bit oblivious. He's a little bit oblivious um to the scenario and just the situation that he's in with, well, the Duke and with Satine. And like, yeah, like obviously he wants to love Satine, and I think a part of Satine also really likes that love and attention and care, but Satine has to provide for herself if the Rouge is going down. So, it's like she wants a life, and he doesn't really understand that complicated scenario, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I agree. But then again, like near the end of the show, after Roxanne, when they're in the Duke's apartment, she basically tells him to bugger off in the best way possible to save him because she loves him. She's doing it for him. The Duke threatens her
And he
with
doesn't
all
know,
the
like Christian doesn't
he
know
doesn't
the
know
Duke
that.
is threatening.
So she does that whole thing because she cares about him. You wouldn't do something if you didn't care about them, you know what I mean? She cares about them, and I really do think she did love him after a while. But it's also with the whole thing, going back to what you just said with the whole like Satine and the Duke offering all of this. It kind of goes back to that whole stuff that was talked about. 1899 was a different time for women. It was a whole different time for women, you know. It's not like it is now, you know, we can work and we earn money, we can be independent. It was so different. And for a man to come in and be like, I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna give you a house and a new wardrobe, blah 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 blah. Oh, okay. You know,
I mean, even
okay.
like 2024 would be like, oh, you want to give me a house and a
In
really cool
today's
wardrobe in
in
today's time?
in today's
Yeah.
economy, but I don't think I could ever give up working.
Yeah, that's
I
true. I don't
I don't think I
know.
could ever give up working or going to school because I would be bored out of my
I would be
mind.
also very bored
Like
out of my mind.
it's tough. I've done that. I took like a month off because like I was when I was moving and it's very boring. Very boring. There's only so much you can do. But yeah, I think it's like you said he doesn't understand the concept of it.
For sure. I just, yeah. Um, and that's a part of it is also because, like, as we said, like he's young. He hasn't lived much of a life. I mean, who knows what happened in Lima, Ohio. I don't think anything much really happened there. And like, even if like, just talking like in real life, like, me when I was 18 is so much different than I am now as an adult. And it's just, you grow and you learn. And I think when you're that age, and you have not experienced love before and you're alone and you're exploring and you know every like the world is literally your oyster at that point in your life and like you basically what I'm trying to say is you learn from experience. And so if he's inexperienced in love, if he's inexperienced in travel, being alone, all that kind of stuff, being independent, obviously he's not gonna fully understand it just yet until he does experience it. So,
No, I agree. You're a whole different when you're 18 compared to when you're in your adulthood. Trust me, it's a whole different
oh
plan.
yeah, I didn't think
Um,
it was gonna be, and then I'm just like, whoa, glow up.
um, okay. So moving forth out of that. So we've covered who we think the type of person he is, him and that. So let's move on to just like,
Do you want to move on to like songs, maybe? Like,
yeah, sorry, I have brain fog. I mean, you can tell look, despite being broke, I just want to put this in there. Despite Christian being broke, he has a nice leather jacket, okay? And stuff like that. So I'm like, wait a second, you're broke, but you know, he dresses actually okay. Like he's actually all right. So when he moves to, you know, because he lives with we know he lives with Toulouse in Santiago in Montmartre, 37 Rue Orphée. It's so bad that I know off the top of my head. But we know he lives there. But you know, he's got some nice little snazzy little clothing, you know, so he's not all bad, but he's a little bit he couldn't even afford to buy Satina drink. Ooh, rough. Um I yeah, let's move on to songs. So we know he's talented. He wrote Come What May for
your song.
Satine. Your song,
He also had
Backstage
that little
Romance.
he also had that little thing like in the beginning where he
Oh my God, that's
like on the
so
spot.
fun. Never gonna
Never gonna
give
give
you
you up.
up.
So
I like
good.
first time I saw the show and that happened, I was like, did I just get rickrolled by Moulin Rouge on Broadway?
Yeah.
I just got rickrolled.
And there's that
Um,
video of like Aaron Tveit saying like he didn't think it was funny, and then everybody laughed. He was like, "Dang it, it was funny."
I just that scene is yeah, like I said, the first time I saw it, I was like, what? What just happened? But yeah, so he's you know, he's got a lot of good songs.
He also,
Um,
I think, didn't he say like he might have like written "We Are Young," right? Because in that song, he like starts singing "We Are Young," and then like Toulouse and Santi are like, "Oh my god."
possibly, again, there's no indication that he did, but possibly he did. Because like you said, the reaction of those two, because it kind of works. Like Santiago sings Children of the Revolution, but he does the bit when he's like, so you can bump and grind. And it works so well for Santiago because he's a gigolo. Um, if you don't know what that is, look it up on Google. So I think he does, yeah. So we know he's yeah, so very talented songwriter. He writes these songs, and like he said, he wrote a lot of songs for Satine. Songs kept pouring out of him. But I think definitely my favorite song he wrote, it has to be Come What May. I think Come
Oh
What May is
yeah.
such a classic. Like I remember being in love with it from the movie. So just like it's such a
I
sweet song
actually
as
had
well.
preferred your song Overcome What May for a little bit. And now I prefer Come What May over your song.
It's I
It's
think it's
such
just
a good song.
your song is good, but like Come What May is just a bit more like in
Yeah.
depth. You know, it's just like
So good.
it's
It's so
very
good.
sweet. I was
It
actually
really
watching
is.
the music video the other day of the one they released of Aaron Tveit back in 2018.
Hmm.
Oh, and I was like, oh my God. This like the
So
beginning
good.
of the
He
journey.
crosses his T on the H though
Yeah.
in the
Yeah. I was
video.
like, oh, okay.
But
I'll let him off. I'll let him off.
it's so
Um,
good. That song is really good.
that's such a great song.
It's
So yeah,
yeah.
I like his songs. He is talented.
I just really like that scene in general because it feels so I guess like natural almost because like he's just like, look, I'm gonna write a song, we sing it to each other, it's only for us, this kind of thing. And he's singing it, and like Satine is really taking it in, and she's like, okay, yeah. And then she starts singing it, and oh, it's such a beautiful moment between the two. And I'm like, oh,
It's such a I think such a humble moment as well during like all the chaos. Like it's such a they're there together and they're, expressing their love for each other is really what it is in this song. And it's, like I don't know, I just love it. Like, one of my favorite lyrics from the song is storm clouds may gather, but stars may collide. And I'm
mm-hmm.
like, so deep. I
Oh.
just want to cry. Like, it's a song about love and how much they love each other. I think that's such a big pinnacle point. And then after that, obviously, everyone knows after Come What May, everything just starts going downhill.
Yeah,
So it's like, it's a great moment, but then you're like, oh, it's
everything's gonna go
about
off
to
the
get
rails.
wolfy. Um,
I remember like in Glee when they're watching Moulin Rouge the movie, and they have this like weird fantasy scene between Kurt and Blaine or whatever, and it's great, but like it's also a little strange fantasy scene, but we love it because it's clean. Um, but Santana's just like to Kurt, she goes, I thought you said that singing this duet was more intimate than being intimate with each other. And I'm like, that's like it's a very intimate song. It's very yeah, it's a very like it's very romantic, and it just for like honestly, can it be my wedding song?
no, great song, great song. Okay, moving forth. I gotta talk a little bit about Christian's toxic traits. I feel like he has a few toxic traits, and one of them being okay. I don't know if it is fully a toxic trait, so please tell me if I'm wrong. During rehearsal scene two, everyone knows that's my favorite scene.
My favorite scene too.
Every
It's
time
so
it's a
good.
nail biter, every single time for me though. Um, basically he as I like to say in the nicest way possible, he pops his lid, really.
Yeah.
He, Christian goes off, the Duke is telling all these changes, and then Christian's just like, because she doesn't love you, and gags the whole room. Everyone is
Everyone's
silent after that point. It's like that, oh, that big turning moment. I don't know if this is a toxic trait. So actually, let me reverse that. But it's definitely a moment you see him snap, I think. And I think that character you see that in a lot of shows of big characters and they like snap. I think that was his moment and he just went and it was like, oh,
yeah.
whoops. I done messed up Aaron, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think it's very yeah, because I mean, I also wouldn't I don't know if it would be like a toxic trait, but it's definitely like it's like in the heat of the moment kind of a thing. And he's like mad at all these changes, and the Duke is like saying all this stuff, and he's trying to change the show, and he doesn't want to, and Toulouse is all also like up in flames about this whole like thing, and Siebler is just kind of standing there, and it's and he's trying to talk to Satine, but Satine doesn't want anything to do with it right now. Like she's being professional, she's in rehearsal, and so it's like this whole thing, and um even
It's,
like I
I think
it's
it's jealousy too. I think he was jealous as well. I
yeah.
think that because after they come back, because the scene right before is only girl, and they come, I think it's a little bit of jealousy as well.
Yeah, because like well, she had just sung this like beautiful romantic song with Christian, right? And like then she goes to the Duke, and the Duke is just like, here's your chateau and your your outfit, and like showering with like money, and and with wealth, and with all these clothes and stuff. And I think it's just, yeah, as you said, it's a little bit of jealousy as well. And I think it's Toulouse, yeah, because he's like the director or whatever, but he's like, stay on book, throughout the scene, and he's just not, because he's overcome with emotion, and um everything is just bottled up inside. And I think he just kind of he said it, and he's just like, well, yep, he said something that would get under the Duke's skin for sure. And then the Duke is just like, wait a second, everybody else knew except for me. And he revealed that, like, Christian revealed the big secret.
Yeah, like Andrew was saying last week about the whole thing. He explained, when we asked him about it, he even said the same thing. It's that moment. And not only were they full, she's sleeping with him, and it's like a eh. Moving on though, my other toxic trait. Okay, I don't know. Again, I don't know if that first one's a toxic trait, but my toxic trait, Christian, is crazy
Can't wait
rolling.
for our Duke episode.
Oh my goodness. Nothing but good things for the Duke. I'm kidding. Um, okay. Um, Christian. His toxic trait is at the end of the show, when the show is actually happening, and he goes to Satine. He's like, why else live if not for love? And he turns the gun on himself. Oh, oh.
Mm,
It is a bit of
yeah,
a ooh. It is a little bit
it's a bit of a
I
yikes.
it's a bit of a it's not a green flag. I can tell you that
Definitely
for real.
not.
Um, love you, Christian. Love you. But that is, I think, a little bit of a toxic moment for me. It's a
Yeah.
little bit of a toxic trait. I get you love Satine, and why else live if not for love, because that's a great quote. Again, I love that one. But I feel like there's other ways to go around doing that, and putting a
Yeah.
gun on yourself and threatening to basically, pop off in front of the woman you love on stage in front of all these
Oh
people.
yeah, the audience too.
Not the best one, not the best one. That is my toxic trait, personally.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's just, yeah, it's a little bit of a yay, okay, we're doing that moment. And yeah, I don't like, I get it. I get like you're overcome with emotions, love makes you crazy, all that kind of stuff, but not really the best way to, I mean, just like and like I think a lot of it also is the fact that, like, even before this scene happened, Satine like had just kind of rejected the Duke and was just like, no one owns me. And it's like Christian doesn't know about that, but
Christian
even
also doesn't
then,
know that Satina's dying.
yeah, Christian also doesn't know that Satine is dying. But then there's this like whole thing of like, communicate. talk before, you threaten to, turn a gun on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, I get it, like you're in a show or whatever, and like maybe like, can we talk for a second? Would be a
Well,
little weird, but like at the same time,
to contrast that real quick, sorry. In the movie, and even in Broadway, when in Broadway, in the Boston run, sorry, it was like I know he mentioned about how like him and Satine would only see each other at rehearsal and they wouldn't talk. And I think after that Duke moment, it's kind of like a okay, now they stay away from each other, no talking. So I think like that was probably hard to do, um, because it was like a this is a moment you got to stay away. You know, Zidler tells her stay away from Christian, and I think so. It wasn't just as easy as being like, "Hey, can we have a little chit chat?" But then again, also not trying to justify his actions.
oh yeah, for sure. Like it's just even like in the context of like them being in the show, um it's a show within a show, but like them being in a show, like a little weird if you just like go like, hey, can we talk for a second? Like in the middle of like a performance. But yeah, I don't know, like, Jules, what do you think would have been like a better way to go about it? Because obviously like talking is not something, pulling aside to talk is not something, but then like also turning a gun on yourself is a little bit, gives me a little bit of an ick.
I mean, that's also a really difficult one. Like, how would you go around doing it? Again, in the movie, he like sneaks backstage and all that. That's a good question. I really don't know how. I think he did it in a way to get her attention because at the beginning of that scene, she's when they're doing the when he's like, Marie, Francois, you shouldn't be here, blah blah blah. She's looking away from him. She's not even looking at him when they're doing that scene because I think she's scared, like she doesn't want the Duke to hurt him and all this stuff, and she's like, she knows she's dying. Um, and I think he did it as a, because he says, "Look at me, Satine." So I think it's done as like a, trying to think of the right word to use for it. It's kind of done as a dramatic effect and be like, "Look at me, Satine," and then he shouts at her, "Look at me," and then says it. Um, I think,
Kind of a way to draw out her emotions almost,
yeah, yeah, it was kind of a way to draw out her emotions, and yeah, I think
like her true feelings.
it works. It's toxic, but it works because there's
Yeah,
not really any other way. Because right after that,
she
she
gone.
she gone. She
She
goes up
gone.
to
She
the
died.
big rainbow bridge in the sky.
Yeah.
So it's not like he could really talk to her afterwards. So I don't know. That's just my theory.
Yeah, I mean, it's because I think in the movie, like the Duke is, chasing Christian around, right? And so, or is this that
It's
happen, or is it
it's a
the other way?
bodyguard or something. I think it's a bodyguard who's chasing him around backstage. The Duke is watching it, and then the Duke walks away, and then the gun gets pushed near the Duke, and he tries to shoot them, but Zidler punches them in the face.
Chaos.
I watch that
Um,
movie way too much.
I'm like, can they just do one performance with that plot? Because I would love to see that happen. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just, I think, yeah, it's a drama. The musical is a drama, a little bit. It's a little bit of a tragedy as well. And it's just added for that dramatic effect,
The
but
tragedy, of course, it's depressing.
it doesn't make it right, but it is very dramatic and it does the job of adding the dramatics to the show.
Yeah, I really think that's everything to cover about Christian. I mean, there's probably stuff we've missed, but obviously we're going to talk about future scenarios in another episode, but I think that's really everything about like that we know about Christian, what we know about him. That he's a songwriter and he's poor and so I don't know. Do you have anything to add about like what you think more about Christian, his backstory or anything like that?
I don't think so. I mean, backstory, I mean, I think we pretty much covered it. Like, we don't really know what's going on in Lima, Ohio, but clearly it's not great.
Clearly, it's not a good time. No one's having fun in
Must
Lima,
have had a
Ohio, apparently.
rough upbringing in Lima, Ohio, with
Yeah,
all the
like I've never been
cows
to
and farms.
Ohio, so I can't really
You
say. The only
should.
thing I know about
I'm like in the suburbs and city or whatever, so it's like never been to Lima. Maybe we should make a trip to Lima, Ohio, Jules.
so I can live out my Glee
Glee
dreams.
drinks.
Um,
I'm sure
yeah,
it's a
and I can go to
lovely place, I guess. I don't know.
we
I
can
don't
go to like Lima, Ohio, and be like, "This is Christian the composer is from here." Um, what a weird place like for them to do. Like out of all the places to do is Lima, Ohio.
know.
But
They probably made
okay,
it the most random place for a reason.
well, it couldn't have been like I can give you some random places here in Florida. Trust me, don't you worry.
Yeah. I feel like, well, I mean, Ohio. It's
Oh yeah, I mean Ohio is just a
just random.
kind of crazy place in particular, anyway.
Yeah. Can confirm.
Can
Can confirm.
confirm.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you got anything to add?
Oh, I don't. I think we've covered
I
everything.
think so. I mean, I'd love to do a poll and see what other people think, like fans think,
Yeah,
like what they think.
I'll put a poll up on our Spotify thing. So
Please
please
do.
like vote on our poll.
Yeah, and let us know if you have any more fan theories, and we'd love to cover them. But
Also, check
apart from
us out on Instagram at Can Talks Pod. We post
you,
some exclusive video content on there, so you can also share your thoughts and theories with us on there.
absolutely. Well, it's been real. It's been fun. My name is Jules.
I'm Lily.
I'm signing off.
Until next week.
Until next time.
Beautiful. We should be on Broadway.
We should. I'm surprised they haven't hired me yet. That's kind of crazy, Tonight
Right.
was a sing along. I feel like they should. Where's my Broadway contract? You know. All right.
Alrighty, guys. Bye.
Bye.